Hey everybody, this is Truth Church. I don't know what to call this show. I'm gonna be real honest with you, I haven't come up with a name yet. Last time I titled it Seeking Truth or Seeking the Armor of God in the Age of Deceit. I don't really know what to call it. It's gonna center around the truth because I think the truth is the key. The truth is what we use to fight the evil that is in control of this world. We're going to talk about all of that on this show. That's what this show is. This is the age of deceit. The world is controlled by evil. No matter how you feel philosophically, you must acknowledge at least that evil controls this world. Evil forces are in control of this world. There's no denying it. And I believe it goes much deeper than that. I believe they have an agenda and they work together. And their agenda is Luciferian. And I'm just doing the best I can at spreading the truth and trying to wake people up. I'm not a biblical scholar. I consider myself Christian, but I am not an expert on the Bible. You probably know the Bible better than me. Matter of fact, if you're an atheist, I guarantee you know the Bible better than me. I don't pretend to have any qualifications other than I have looked deep, deep behind the curtain and went way backstage and seen what's going on. And I felt called to do this, you know? So I may not know what I'm doing, but I felt called to do it. And I felt that I needed to use my gift, which is my gift of gab, I guess, to talk, to help get it out there, the truth of the situation, And, if you're not religious, if you don't realize that the powers that be that lord over us, the predators that lord over us, if you don't realize that they are deeply religious, what do you need to know at this point? Like, what would it take to convince you that dark forces are in control of this world? At this point, you know, I shared something on Facebook today, just scrolling through. I shared it, and turns out it's true. I hadn't even looked at it before. Sometimes you share things, you know how that is, and you don't look at it first. I just shared it, looked into it after someone, kind of gave me a little pushback on it. They were selling shirts on Amazon, marketed to little kids, sold in children's sizes, that said Daddy's little slut. I pulled them after outrage. They were selling them on Amazon. What will finally do it? When will it be enough? That's part of the Luciferian agenda to make that kind of stuff normal. And sexualizing children, that's part of it. What's it going to take to wake people up? To expose them to the truth? Well, what would it finally take? And better question, can we wait that long? Do we have that kind of time? So don't we need to kind of rush it along? Kind of speed the awakening in any way we can? And that's what I'm attempting to do. Wake people up. You know, and because I believe we are heading towards the end, but I believe it's being orchestrated. Those in power over us, these predators, they are religious. They just don't worship the same God as you and I, you know, or whatever you practice religiously. I don't believe in exclusion. I happen to be Christian, but I respect all beliefs and any spirituality. But I also respect the truth, and the truth is those that lord over us happen to be Luciferian. And I believe they're planning for an apocalypse that they are orchestrating. They're trying to bring biblical prophecy to life. A lot of what's going on with these wars and control of the Middle East is about much more than gold and oil and control of resources. And it's about all of that, don't get me wrong, but it's about much more than that too. It's also about bringing biblical prophecy to life. They want they want this to happen. They're pushing towards the same things. Actually, I've heard it said from religious scholars that Christians are actually pushing back against that, or pushing back against the end times, and the Luciferians are pushing towards it. They're rushing it forward. They want this end times battle. They just think it's going to go differently. But the predators that lord over us are Luciferian. There's plenty of evidence of that. I think that's I would love to debate anybody over that. I think they've proven it time and time again. There's plenty of evidence that they're Luciferian. And I just wonder sometimes what people need, what it would take to get them to wake up to the fact that even if you're not religious, those that lord over you are. They happen to have different views, but they believe in God. They just believe that God is the villain of the Bible, that Lucifer is the illuminator. That's why they call themselves the Illuminati. That's one of the reasons why they went with that label. That's what it means. They believe that Lucifer is enlightening humanity and teaching humanity how to be like God, how to be gods themselves. And that's what they think they're doing. The other day I was talking on a feed, and I was talking about how while they're doing this evil stuff that they absolutely do, while they're doing that, they must feel like gods. It must be an unbelievable amount of power. It's hard to really understand or think about it. Matter of fact, that's one of the reasons why they get away with it, is because it's hard for people to imagine that it takes place. Well, it does. And it's being exposed slowly. And, and even when it's exposed, like there was a massive pedophile sex ring run out of a Catholic church in Pennsylvania, I believe. And that was exposed. The media just doesn't cover it, and it just goes away. People ignore it, look away, forget, and it just continues. Or this Epstein story. What of that? It's a huge story. And all of a sudden, it just goes away. Well, isn't that convenient? And then it turns out that the media is told not to cover this story. And they've known about it for years. And it's been silenced and put down. And who's doing that? The power that lords over us. They are in control. They are in control of the information. They own it. And they suppress things that go against their agenda. They push them down. They keep them from you. They got to protect you from yourself even. They don't want you thinking. They don't ever want you thinking for yourself. You may start to ask questions. You may start to realize that things aren't as they seem, that we're living a lie, that life is more of an illusion, and reality is hidden from us. It's unfortunate, but it's true. It's true. You may not believe that the people that lord over us, the people in power, are Luciferian. But I would love to debate it again. I'll put that out there. I would love to debate it with you. I can point to some examples just real quick. Bohemian Grove, look into that. The elite, these predators, go there every year. It's I I'm not making it up. And they have ceremonies. You could say it's pageantry. They just like to do demonic ceremonies. Okay, but they do them. And, people have talked about Bohemian Grove, powerful people. Nixon, Nixon recorded everything. He was recorded talking about Bohemian Grove, said it was, um, well, I don't even want to say what he said, but that they prance around naked, basically. Bill Clinton said the same thing when he was confronted by the guy from We Are Change. These predators are Luciferian, those that lord over us, and they believe in the power of it. And they have ceremonies regularly. There is a priestess, or whatever you would call her, for them, the illuminated ones. And again, whatever you want to call them, I think when we get pushed into labels for these groups, that that gives them the ability to weasel in and out, because you can't pin them down. And people will mock, oh, you believe in the Illuminati. I think it's ridiculous if you believe that nobody's pulling the strings. That nobody is behind the curtain. Everything's owned by like 6 people. Everything. So why wouldn't they? You don't think they talk to each other? Who the hell's they going to talk to? Who could relate to them? Who are they going to hang out with if not each other? It goes deeper than that. I'm just saying, it's a handful of people that run this world. It's not that many of them that really run it, that really pull the strings. Most of it's compartmentalization. Most of the cogs in the wheel of the evil operation of this world don't even know they're part of it. Or they signed up for something different and they're being used. Like soldiers or police officers that, believed in something other than what they are actually going to be end up used for. Everything's a lie, though. Everything's upside down. We are in the upside down. This is the age of deceit. It is written. It's just, I believe that it's coming to be. It's all falling into place. And like I said, by design for the most part. You understand there's two teams at play here. And Satan, I believe, Lucifer, whatever, runs this world, owns this world. I think evidence of it is everywhere. You know, once you accept that and you realize that all this evil in the world is because of that, it opens up your mind. It's overwhelming, but it also opens up your mind to the possibilities of what you can do to fight back against it. Everything's a lie. Everyone's living a lie. They're living in a literal matrix. They don't understand what's real. So spreading the truth, getting that out to them, letting them know that they live a lie. They don't even know. Why would they? Think about it. It's easy to forget that when you're woke, what it was like to not be woke, and what you're up against in this world today. Evil is everywhere, and lies are everywhere. Deception is practiced on a massive scale. So, how can you ever know what's true and what's real and what's not? I don't think you can. I mean, you gotta find it for yourself. And if you're not the type of person that would look for it, you'll never find it. You have to be someone that would seek it out. And hopefully, people like that will stumble across this, whatever it ends up being named in the end, and take something away from it, at least the reality and the knowledge that evil is in charge of this world and runs this world. But it has that power because humanity doesn't acknowledge it and doesn't fight back against it. We don't have to allow evil to maintain the power it has over us. We can fight back against it. And I believe we do that with the truth and by spreading the truth. And I'd love to hear from any of you, any perspective that you may have too. And you don't have to agree with me. Many Christians probably wouldn't even fully agree with me if they knew everything that I believed. I don't even know that I fully fall in line with what a Christian is. That's just the way I would closestly, I don't even know what I'm trying to say, label myself if I had to. And I go to a church that calls themselves Christians. So, and I agree with their philosophies and what they preach there. So I guess I would consider myself Christian. But I don't think a lot of people that do consider themselves Christian are really Christian. And the false representation of our faith in the public does a lot of damage. You know, a lot of the damage that's done to the Christian faith is done by people that are not practicing it right. You're not supposed to be judging people. You're not supposed to be running around pointing fingers and passing judgment. Again, you're supposed to be informing. I have friends that are atheists that probably think I'm ridiculous for being a Christian. But I guess they still respect me. I think they do anyway. They're at least good at faking it if they don't. But I respect them, even though I think they are wrong. And that they're dangerously wrong, I even believe. So, but that's their choice, and they're aware. So my job's done. And I don't have to judge them. It's not my job. So we can still be friends, and I can still learn from them, and we can grow together and experience life together and all of that. Otherwise, I'm closed off in a bubble, and then everybody would be very boring. If I only talked to everybody that fit the checklist of approved people to be around, and Jesus didn't live that way either. So why would I? I think that's one of the things you're supposed to do as a Christian is live like Jesus and use that as your example. So he hung out with who would be considered the lessers among society and, you know, was not someone that went around casting people out. Only thing he seemed to really have a problem with was greed. You know, I, and the people that claim to be Christian seem to defend greed, or they benefit off of religion, like Joel Osteen. We were talking about Joel Osteen the other day and Kanye West, because Kanye West is also trying to benefit from religion at the moment and enrich himself by using religion. I really believe that now, the more that I look at it. At first, I was just like, okay, maybe he's really religious and full of faith and wants to get the message out. And maybe he is, but his intentions are wrong, and there's something off about it in the way that it's monetized, and even his sermons that he had before, the way he would sell merch, like $30 shirts at a sermon. I think that goes against what Christianity and faith is really about, especially if that money's not being immediately turned around and put into society to benefit the people, then it's definitely wrong. If he's using that money to buy, bottles of champagne and finance his next album and pay for cars and stuff for Kanye, and there's something wrong with it. If you're doing it in God's name, I think you need to use it in that way. Just like Joel Osteen enriches himself, lives like a king off of God's name, off of God and people that give him money for spreading God's word and probably have good faith in doing so, but are misled and misguided in doing so, shouldn't be giving money to Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen is a con artist. He's not a man of God. He doesn't represent what I think would be godly ideals. I think a lot of this false representation of God by people, and it's people that are doing it. You got to remember that it's people that are flawed, and it's the people that these actions are happening from. Just like a lot of the evil that's been done in the name of God and religion throughout history. I don't ignore or try to live in a world where that didn't go on, but I understand that religion was used for power. It has been for centuries. Some would even argue that that's its only purpose, but again, I point to the fact that it is practiced to this day by those in power over us only from the other angle. They work for the other team. They worship demons. You know, that proves to me that it's real, as well as my own personal experiences. Faith and religion is really felt. It's something you feel. At least it is for me. It's a feeling, an experience. That's what I at least felt, and what happened for me was an experience. And it's an undeniable one, and one that I won't allow myself to ever forget. And it changed me. But that and looking at the world, and when you put the two together, they really are interconnected. Like, I do a truth show called Conspiracy Theories and Chill. And we talk about conspiracies, and we talk about the truth, and we talk about what's really going on in the world and all of this evil. But we never get philosophical or get into the reasons behind it. We have touched on the fact that they are Luciferian, these people in power. But we never really gotten into the importance of faith in this, the importance of religion in this. It's, I think, important to acknowledge and understand that those in power believe in this stuff, and they use it against us. So it doesn't benefit us to pretend it doesn't exist. It would at least benefit you to inform yourself of it, and that it's going on, or at least look at the evidence that it's going on, because it's predictable. And you can see where it's going, and where it's going is towards an apocalypse, an end time event. And I believe that they are preparing to live underground during this event. And there's massive amounts of evidence of that as well. And this is all out there. I've been told that maybe I would grow more of an audience, and it's true. When I get more time to do more research, I will be more informed. But if I would chisel down and narrow in on specific things, and if I gave real specific information, and you could really learn a lot, and we'll get there. But what we really need everyone to understand, at this point at least, is everything is a lie. We live in the age of deceit. And it also is important to understand whether you're religious or not, those in power over you are. And they're using that to justify their behavior for one, these beliefs, and their agenda that's in place. I covered Lucius Trust in a recent Conspiracy Theories and Chill. Check it out. I don't know what kind of art to put up during this show on the wall here, so I just put up me on things and stuff. That's my YouTube channel. Go over there and check it out and subscribe. But we did a video on Lucius Trust. Lucius Trust is a real organization. They are openly Luciferian, and they operate out of the United Nations. They're headquartered in the United Nations building. Not only that, they have a huge mural in the Security Council room where wars are discussed, where world leaders gather to discuss the fate of millions of people under this Luciferian mural. It's a huge mural, and the mural is all about the rise of Lucifer, and it tells the whole story. And in the story, the elite go underground while we're wiped out. And this is their agenda. They've been marching us towards it for a long time, and they're in the final stages of it. So that's why I'm wondering, and why the main question of today's little discussion, at least, whatever we call this moving forward, is what will finally do it? What will be the straw that breaks the camel's back? Because their agenda, they haven't, like Lucius Trust is one of the best examples of their agenda. They're all broke up in little groups, in little subgroups and secret societies and different things. It's all interconnected though, and they have similar agendas and similar belief systems. Lucius Trust does a real good job of laying out their agenda in a simple way, and all of it has come to be. And stuff like this daddy's little slut, that's part of it. Normalizing that type of behavior. Breaking up the family was part of it. Making that the norm. Divorce and things like that. Jose says, you are correct. God the Creator did not create us to worship ourselves or serve Satan. And ignoring evil is serving evil. So we have to understand that too. We don't have to allow the evil in this world. The evil in this world doesn't happen because evil is so great and evil so powerful. It happens because good people look the other way. It has its hold over us because good people look the other way and ignore it. Well, it can't do that anymore. We can't do that. We have to realize it's our responsibility. No one's coming to save us. Well, Jesus is coming back to save us. I can't wait for that. You see what I'm saying? I don't think that's what we're supposed to do. I think I believe Jesus is coming back. I believe in Jesus. I believe in God. That's what this show allows me to be able to share my beliefs in a way that maybe helps someone else. I'm no expert on it, but I believe in those things. I'm not going to wait for that. I don't believe that's our purpose or our responsibility is to sit and wait and tell people about Jesus and wait for him to come back and do something about all of this and just allow it. In the meantime, I think we're supposed to be doing something about it. I think we're living a test. And if that's true, we're failing it, on a grand scale, not doing so hot. Evil's running rampant. Evil's winning. We have to realize that we have to stop it. We do that by spreading the truth and by waking people up and raising awareness about what's really important and helping people to realize pointing them in the right direction. You're not going to change their beliefs by judging them. And like I said, you're not supposed to be judging people anyway. So these Christians, or people that call themselves Christian, that are out there judging you and saying, oh, you're going to hell for this or that, they're not a representative. They're, I'm sure there are people in your group, whatever belief system that you happen to have, and again, I respect all of them, that are that way, and they don't represent your group. You know what I'm saying? These squeaky wheels always get the grease, just like my chair needs grease. You probably heard it creaking during the show. But they don't represent the whole. I understand that they're a minority. I want to know. And I'm curious from, different belief systems and different ideologies. What do you think about the status and the situation that we're in? What's your opinion? I am looking at it from a Christian point of view. But evil is in control of this world. I think that's true from any point of view. I'm objective. I've looked at it from other angles. I've attempted to anyway. You're always biased by your own beliefs, but I've attempted to look at it from other angles. And I think evil, it's clear, is in control, no matter how you look at it. But how do you see it? And what do you think it would take for humanity? Because you can only push people so far. But how far is it going to be? Shouldn't it happen by now? I think it should have happened by now, if it was going to happen. But these predators that lord over us, they are preparing, I believe, to wipe us out. A large number of us. I don't know how yet, but I think that's where this is all heading. And they are building, they've already built them. There's literal cities underground. Very luxurious, very nice lives they have planned for themselves. During some kind of event, they're getting ready for something. I think we need to get ready too. We need to prepare people. And that's why I don't know about the title, Truth Church or Seeking the Armor of God in the Age of Deceit, or whatever we end up naming this. That's what it's about. Protecting ourselves from this evil. Which I believe, and I believe there's massive evidence for the fact that it is Luciferian, these people's belief system. That's what we're up against. The agenda. And I think that they show that in a lot of ways, especially with the Middle East agenda and the way that they show their hand throughout history. That's another thing they believe, is showing you. They do it all in plain sight. Excuse me. But evil runs the world. And do you align with that? Do you accept that? Or do you align with good? If you align with good, no matter how you feel philosophically or ideologically, I'm with you. You're on my side. I want progress. I want us to move forward. So no matter how you feel, if you agree that evil is in control of this world, use the truth to fight it. That's how you do it. And the truth is being killed off in real time right now. They're wiping it out because they know that. They are fully aware that the truth is dangerous because people are receptive to the truth, and you know it when you hear it. It's something that you recognize when you hear it, and it has power. So they know that, they understand that, and they're trying to eliminate it, get rid of it. And they're doing a damn good job of it. I gotta be honest. It's very frustrating, but they're very good at it. They have an agenda, and they are our enemy. And that's all part of it. It's something we have to deal with moving forward. But we'll just do our best, you know what I mean? To spread the truth. Because the more people we wake up, and there is a massive awakening happening. Have you seen all the stuff with the Epstein stuff that's happening? Did you see that there's a beer company that put out beer with Epstein didn't kill himself printed on the bottom of their beer cans? It's everywhere. People are waking up. So a mass awakening is happening. No matter how you feel, you got to know that. There's evidence of that. So there is hope moving forward, but we need to help speed it up. It's the job of the woke to wake the others. So no matter how you do it, as long as you're trying to wake the others and you're spreading the truth, you're doing a good job. You're doing good. You're working for good. And I think if you're working for good, you're doing godly work. No matter what you believe personally. I don't think that ends up being the most important thing. I think you have free will. I think God is the most misunderstood rather, person, figure in the entire human history in all of existence. And we don't understand. And we've attributed things and made assumptions. Well, I had a teacher once. I wish I remembered his name, but he always taught us that assumptions make an ass out of you and me. And he would draw it on the board. And it does. It's true. It's another piece of truth. It was great advice. You shouldn't make assumptions. And I think that organized religion has failed humanity, and it has, because of a lot of these assumptions that they've made about God, especially about God's individual beliefs. And something like crazy like God believes gay people are evil and that's a mortal sin and you'll burn in hell. Are you kidding me? Like, you really want me to believe that God is interested in that that's important to? No, that doesn't make any logical sense. That's why it's so ridiculous. That's why it's so easy to tear apart, because these are assumptions made by man. I don't think that you or anyone should speak for God. And even men of God shouldn't say they're speaking for God. In the end, you're just giving your opinion. I think God is about love. That's what I feel. That's the experience I have with my faith personally. I don't feel a judgmental, hateful presence or feeling when I have these experiences, which I think most people of faith know what I'm talking about. If you have a connection in your faith to God, then you feel it. It's a feeling. There is evidence of it. You know, there's much more to reality than what you see. And there's a lot to reality that we don't even fully understand. So I, I don't think it's ridiculous. I know people do, though. They do judge religious people. You know, I recently interviewed a flat earther for my conspiracy theory show, and people were upset and just throwing a fit about how stupid it was, and that I would even justify it by having this person on is ridiculous. There's people that feel the same way about Christianity or any religion for that matter, any religion at all. And then there's people and they have good justification for saying this of why religion is evil. Well, a lot of organized religion is. We got to be honest about this stuff. The truth is what's important. Truth is what will set us free. And if it can be destroyed by the truth, it deserves to be destroyed by the truth. That includes everything. My belief system and what I believe and all of that is constantly evolving, constantly changing. I'm not restricted by the Bible. I believe the Bible was manipulated by man. I believe there's a lot of evidence of that. So who's to say what was and what wasn't manipulated? What was and what wasn't changed? What inflections were added? Who's to say? You know, it's went through hundreds of translations. It went through a period of history where everything was written by hand. You know, the printing press wasn't invented for a long time. And the Bible was written and rewritten and rewritten and rewritten by hand. So it's not going to be the same as that game telephone when you play when you're a kid in school, but it's the same principle. There's been changes. Even at the most innocent level, you would have to accept that there's been changes. Little artistic changes, like genders, assigning genders, and then assigning intent would definitely and just naturally come from personal beliefs. So there's been assumptions made and things manipulated. We don't know is the truth. And and the truth is always usually in the gray area anyway. So I don't think any of us should judge or any of us should claim to be an expert on something we can't possibly be an expert on. And I think that turns people off. You know, it shuts people down. It's okay to not believe what I believe. You know, I believe my job is to inform you. You know, I believe that Jesus was sent to earth to live amongst us, died for our sins, and sacrificed himself so that we could be forgiven. You know, I know people have problems with that, like, and I do too. I'm not going to be the type of person that won't be straightforward. Well, why did God have to send his son to die for us? I don't I don't know. Again, I'm not a biblical scholar and I don't think it's important. I think that it's okay that I don't understand everything. I don't have to understand every little thing. And I don't know that I was told everything. So if I don't even know that I got all the information, you know, that there's books of the Bible that are hidden, kept secret, things that have been left out and omitted, secret books, and there's all kinds of stuff that exists that's hidden. Think about what the Catholic Church alone has that they've never shared with humanity. Think of all the hidden knowledge and information that exists out there. All that we don't know. You know? How can you live in a reality when there's so much you know that we don't know and think you know anything for sure? So, I'm not certain about anything. I'm a contrarian. I question everything, but I judge it off my gut. What I feel is true. I think you can feel the truth. You know when you're being lied to, unless you're incredibly naive. If you're a decent judge of character and you are have a working mind, you can usually tell when you're being lied to. Unless someone's excellent at it, but very few people are. Lying is a skill that it's hard to master. There are people that are good at it, but there's not very many masters. It takes an incredible memory, for one, to be a successful liar. There are people that can do it. It also takes a sociopathic personality. Someone that can literally like just disconnect and not even feel bad about it. But These are the type of people that lord over us, for example, and they even breed that into their bloodlines. They do that to their children, dissociate them, and make them that way so that they'll be like them. They're without remorse. They don't look at us as people. They don't look at us as humans. They're not the same as us. They believe they're better than us. And I believe they plan to wipe us out. Because they don't believe the problems in the world are caused by them, by their greed, by their consumption, and by them polluting the world. That's all fine. There's too many of us. We're the parasites. There's too many of us running around. This is for them, the world. They believe that. Do as thou wilt. That's one of their core beliefs. So that's central to their structure and their belief structure, belief system. They can have and do whatever they want. They can live as gods on earth. They can obtain that. That's what's being hidden from us. That's one of the hidden truths, that humans can be as gods. And that's what they think. And that's what they're pushing towards. And they think they'll be rewarded. There's all kinds of levels to their belief system, but they believe in this stuff. Nissa says, my ex lied very well. Yes, psycho. And a lot of times when people imagine or they think or they say, no, this stuff's not possible. Sean, this stuff wouldn't happen. This stuff couldn't happen. It's just all random. There's nothing behind it. There's no one pulling the strings. Couldn't be. You know what I mean? Well, why not? I don't understand why there couldn't be. There's evidence that there is, and these bloodlines, these people that control and own everything, they've been the same people for eons. So how is it not believable? And there's evidence for all of this, and it's willful ignorance to ignore it. And evidence of their belief systems as well. And I'm including all kinds of powerful people that participate in these demonic ceremonies and worship these Old Testament and old religion gods like Baal, Moloch, and the list goes on and on. They believe in this stuff. They practice it. And I'd say good 80% of all secret societies have Luciferian core beliefs. They all have similar beliefs. And they follow the Luciferian ideals. Even Freemasonry, one of the biggest secret societies that exists. The average Freemason doesn't even know what Freemasonry is. That's how secret it is. And that's how they get away with it. Most Freemasons aren't involved. For the most part, it's a nice little club to be in. It helps advance you in society and helps you get work and relationships and network. Great little club to be a part of. My dad was a Freemason. He's not Illuminati. My dad's not pulling any strings. He's not got any power. That's how they do it. They function through these secret societies. Skull and Bones is another one. There's a lot of big ones there, but they all have similar ideals. When you look at their belief systems, they're all very similar, and they all have a lot of the same inspirations and same foundations, like with Aleister Crowley. Now it's Maria Abramovich, or however you say her name. I really don't care if I get it right, but they do these demonic ceremonies and spirit cooking and all kinds of stuff. These predators, the elite, they're into that because they believe in the power of it. Some of these people, like Will Ferrell, He just did a demonic ceremony on TV, making fun, poking fun. Maybe he thinks it's trendy. Maybe they're mocking you, putting it in plain sight and mocking us. That's what they do. They do that. That's part of what they do. So they believe in hiding in plain sight. They believe in putting it right in front of us. That's how they operate. These evil people. They are evil. Nothing will stop them short of us realizing that it's our job and that evil may be in control of this earth, but we don't have to let it run wild. We should be doing our part to rein it in. Even if you're religious, I don't think it's right to sit around and wait for Jesus to come back and solve our problems. We solve our own problems. Look out for ourselves. Isn't that taught in the Bible? I'm not, again, I don't study it, so I can't quote it, but I believe that there is a quote about helping yourself, and that being something that God smiles on is those that help themselves. But what do you think? Again, no matter how you feel philosophically or ideologically, or what your belief system is at all, maybe you don't believe in anything. I know a guy who doesn't even believe in reality itself. Doesn't believe in anything. Great guy. Learn a lot from him. If you're here, Tyler, let me know what you think. Maybe you're here. I want to know, because we all are in this together, and we all have common enemies. They're all the same people, and they have names and addresses. We could list them off. And they've been in charge and lording over us for a long time. And their greed and lust for power and control knows no limits, and nothing will rein them in short of us doing all we can to rein them in, to stop this greed, or they'll destroy us all. I believe they plan to wipe us out. They'll destroy us all. They don't, like, again, what I was saying is they don't care about us. They don't see us as people even. We're less than. The Zionists call us goyim, but they feel like we're parasites. There's too many of us. They're going to wipe us out. And I think they're going to move underground when they do it. And that's what they're preparing for. And to ignore it is foolishness at this point. Even if you don't want to follow me down the road of it being a literal war between good and evil, God and the devil, happening on earth, playing out before your very eyes, if you don't want to look at it that way, you got to at least see that evil is fighting good. And evil's winning. It doesn't have to. It's allowed to be powerful because good people look away and don't get involved and don't do what they need to do to fight it. So do what you can, and what you can do is share the truth. And that's why I think that's important to work into the title, whatever the title of this show ends up being. But I think it should be on Saturdays, because Saturday is the true Sabbath. Sunday is part of the deception. Everything's a lie. And as I said, religion has been manipulated and messed with as well. And moving the Sabbath to Sunday is part of it, part of the deception. Sunday is sun worship. It's pagan. And that's why they did it, to take away from God. They do a lot of things. to take away from God, to take focus, and to get you deceived, convinced that reality is something other than what it really is. And they've done a fantastic job of it. But someone is messaging me on Facebook. No one's here on Facebook. I haven't commented on it, but I'm in Facebook jail again of some sort. Sharing jail. You apparently can't be Christian. You can't be anything. All I'm trying to do is talk about being a good person. I'm not even being judgmental. I haven't quoted a Bible verse, couldn't do it if I wanted to. I'd be a very poor preacher. You know what I mean? I wouldn't do a very good job at attempting to be a preacher. So I'm not going to preach at you ever on this show. And that's why Truth Church was kind of an appropriate name too. Even though it's kind of cheesy, I get that. But Truth Church is kind of an appropriate name because I believe in the truth. I believe the truth speaks for itself. And again, I have questions still about my faith that have not been answered to my satisfaction. And I probably will till the day I die, and that's okay because, that's what faith is about. And again, I am okay with the fact that we don't understand everything. We can't possibly understand everything. And we need to open our minds up to that and realize that there's much more going on in the world. No matter how you feel or what you believe, you have to at least understand that we don't even fully understand our reality. And mainstream science agrees about that much, at least, and that there may even be different layers to our reality, different dimensions. That's all accepted mainstream science. So we don't fully understand our reality, is the main point there. And so no matter how you believe or what you believe, you have to at least understand that much, that you can't possibly know for a fact that anything's ridiculous. Elon Musk, one of the smartest people walking around today, considered to be incredibly intelligent, very respected, believes there's a 1 in a billion chance that we don't live in a matrix, that we aren't living in a computer simulation, a video game. But believing God is insane? No. Just people want you to think that. They want you to be ashamed. But you shouldn't be. And even if you have questions and concerns about your faith, don't be ashamed of that either. I don't think there are questions when I meet my maker, there are questions I have that I would want to ask. Like I said, I have unresolved questions about my faith. That doesn't stop me from having faith. And again, I feel the presence of God in my life and have felt it at times personally. I know I have. I'm not crazy. You can't ignore feelings. Your senses, you experience life and reality through your senses. So to ignore your feelings is ridiculous. It's like cutting off most of the way you experience reality. So I know that this stuff happened, and I got it tattooed on my wrist so that I would always remember that I had a real religious experience, that God entered my life and intervened. So if I ignore that moving forward, I'm a liar. I know that I felt the presence come over me. So anything else, I'm open to. I'll ask. You know what I mean? I'll find out. I got problems too, but we're all here to learn, and I think we're being tested. And allowing this evil to run rampant and run wild, I think is not It's not good. We're not being very proactive, and we're not doing anything to help ourselves. And I think you're supposed to. I don't think we should be allowing evil to run wild on this earth, waiting for Jesus to return to fight it. It's not his responsibility. I think it's ours. But what do you think? Um, on Facebook, there's only been Nissa at the feed, and I don't know that she's still here. If she's still here, I'm not seeing her comments. And Nissa usually talks a lot, which is so it's weird, because Nissa's a really good commenter. So I'm concerned with Facebook right now. I'm concerned with all of it, honestly. We went for an hour. I can be a little real right now. Is that okay? I'm worried. As someone who tries to spread the truth and just tries to do little shows, I'm a nobody, but I'm being suppressed. I don't, there's no reason to throttle me or put me in Facebook jail. You know, this page that we're streaming from has almost 600 followers, and I shared it to my Facebook page. I have 5,000 friends, and our Revolution War Room page, which has 500 followers. One person, this entire feed. They have massive power to shut people down, and they will shut me down. That's why we stream to 4 places, for one, and we're streaming to YouTube as well now. So people here on YouTube, please comment, participate. I want to hear from you. No matter what you believe or how you feel, religiously or otherwise, I want to hear what you think. And then Periscope, we're back on Periscope now, and VK. So let me know what you think and what you feel and how you think we move forward and what is the best path for humanity. And how do you find the armor of God in the age of deceit when everything's a lie? How do you live in the armor of God? How do you know what you can trust? How do you pick what's a lie? What do you use? I want to hear from you. You know, I want this to be interactive. And commenting helps the video do better in the algorithm on every platform. So participate, even afterwards. If you missed the live, if you didn't watch this while it was live, still participate. I still want to hear from you. And support our show. You know, share, subscribe, like, share it out, tell people about it. We're going to do this probably weekly. I'm doing a lot of different shows, and some of them I'm not going to continue forward with, and some of them I am. This is one that I like. You know, if you like it, let me know. And, you know, let me know if you're digging it. Because I wanted to be able to incorporate my beliefs and the truth. And that's what I think is important to overturning the evil in this world is spreading the truth. That's how we're going to wake people up. Getting the truth out to them in a way that they accept it. So that's what every one of my shows is really about. And this episode was called Truth Church, but I really don't know what to call this. It's just a way for me to incorporate my beliefs with the truth. And I think it's important, and I think they go hand in hand. And I like this little show, so I might keep this one around for a while too. But let me know what you think, and let me know which shows you want to see stay and which you might be okay with going. Because something's going to get cut, probably, because I am doing too much. I need to cut back so I have more time to research and do more specific topics and go into more focus on general areas so I can be more of an expert. You see what I'm saying? And I'm not talking out of my rear and sounding ridiculous when I do so, embarrassing myself. I need to inform myself a little more. People have sent me some great stuff, and I haven't poured through it the way I should. You know, if I want to talk about things like GMOs, somebody has sent me a great deal of information and a lot of really great stuff on GMOs, and I need to look through that. weather engineering, a lot of things. There have been amazing things sent to me, even on spirituality. I need to be able to look at all that stuff. I need to take like a day or two. I'm so far behind that I literally need to take a day or two and look at that stuff. But support the shows. There's links in the description for how to support the shows. Support us. And, when this is my job, and it will be, I will be able to have that kind of time for research and doing that. And the shows will get better as we go on. Right now, I'm swinging in the dark and I'm trying out ideas. Like, this is an idea for a show, and I like it. Uh, I realize it won't be friendly in all areas, and a lot of people won't like it, and it will turn people off just because I'm being open about my beliefs, even though I'm not being judgmental. I'm not judging you or saying you're wrong or that I'm right. I'm just saying this is how I feel, this is how I view the world, and I'm even encouraging you to tell me how you view it, what you think. So it's not a closed minded show. I just wanted it to be one where I could share my beliefs. So if you like it, let me know. If you want to see it continue, let me know. And if you have ideas for the name, because Truth Church is just to the point. I sat here and struggled with it. I was writing down on a notepad different names. And I'm like, I almost named it nothing, but you got to name it something. On VK and YouTube, it's real important to have some kind of title. Facebook, you can do a live stream with no title, but it's probably real important on Facebook as well, just to get somebody to even watch it. But this has been Truth Church until we name it something else. And if you guys liked it, let me know. And you want to see it continue, let me know. But this was a show I wanted to do, and I want to expose the batteries are dying in my mouse. I want to expose the evil in the world. And this was an idea on how to do that and do it in a way that gets it out to people that might not listen to a religious show, where they do kind of turn people off because they put their personal beliefs in it. I'm not going to do that. I'm not judgmental. I'm into progress. I'm into moving forward. I'm into defeating this evil and moving society forward. That's what I want to do. That's what I'm about. So if you believe in that, if that's what you want to do, then share this out. Share this message. Get this out there. And let's do it. Let's wake people up. Let's start planting seeds. Bring down this evil. That's how we're going to fight it, by spreading the truth. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week, next Saturday, for another Truth Church. Thanks for watching, guys. See you then.